Okay, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. I'm making this video today in regards to gang stalking, which I have been a victim of since I was 12 years old and actively since I was in my early 20s. And so that's it's been some time now. So it's just just in a place right now where I need to share information that I know personally, and I'll also be sharing information through this website at targetedjustice.com. I also want to I'm going to take in this video I will be showing how gang stalking and these Epstein issues crimes are related and how they are protected through the DOJ and the DHS. I'm sorry, the Department of Justice, and that's where we're gonna start with that today. So gang stalking, and this is from again Targeted Justice. So this was an article from April 12th of 2025. 2025. So it says DHS was the other program, or the other Homeland Security is the other government entity that's protecting gang stalking and also funding gang stalking and protecting the people who are perpetrating these crimes against American citizens. So it says, the headline here says, the Gateway pundit published targeted justice letter to Kristi Noem, requesting that she eliminates fraud, waste, and abuse from the Department of Homeland Security by eliminating the illegal gang stalking program. So if you would like to go into that article and read that article, go to targetedjustice.com. targetedjustice.com, and this website has a lot of information on gang stalking and all of its layers. It contains just a lot of information on gang stalking and how it works, how the system works, and so we're going to start here just for the basis of people who may not have ever heard of gang stalking. And it's just a horrendous crime, like I said, and it's from the government, from the CIA, from the FBI and the CIA are both a part of this program. And FBI and the CIA, again, FBI, yes, FBI and CIA. I actually had, there's a known person in, I would say, the early 2000s that I knew who was recruited into the CIA from my friend group, because they use people close to you to harass you and to become your stalkers. So, and that includes, there's no limit to family members, spouses, parents. I am actually a second generation. My gang stalking, I hadn't, like I said, I was 12 years old, so I'm second generation. It started between my mother with her, and it came from her employee, from sometimes in the this is the 1980s, and he worked at Lockheed in Marietta, Georgia, and she was a personal the housekeeper for his family. and something happened. I don't know what it was, but that's where the gang stalking took place. It was from that man that she worked for, who was a worker at Lockheed. And Lockheed is known, again, that information is here. You can find it here on Targeted Justice. Lockheed is a component in the gang stalking and the monitoring of all individuals, not just the people who were chosen for to be targeted by the government, but for everybody. But you can find out more information again from that on this website here. But what is gang? We're gonna start right here. Start here. What is gang stalking? So, I'm trying to get it so you can see it. So what is gang stalking? So these are the definitions provided by the large language model. What is gang stalking? Gang stalking refers to the coordinated, and it is coordinated, very organized, I'm telling you, very organized and overt but covert at the same time. Effort by a group of individuals to systematically harass, intimidate, and damage the reputation of a target. And that's very specific, and they do target the person's reputation. Targeting the person's reputation is slandering their character and gathering people based on slander information, on lies. They use manipulation, dark psychology to recruit people into the gang stalking and harassment of their quote unquote targeted their targets. Continue on the definition. This can involve spreading false rumors, isolating the person from their community, and manipulating others to turn against them. So that's what I was just explaining. And that's very true. And this is how it happens. For example, where there's, again, like I said, I've been outwardly, they came out to me on in my 20s, in early 20s, in all places at my church. So I'll just start here. My ex, who's my ex at this point, ex-husband and I were out to dinner, and we had dinner. We were out in the complex of the place we had dinner at. It was like a mini mall place, or not a mini mall, but a mall complex, an outdoor mall complex thingy. But anyway, so we were out and it was an outside court area. And so we had dinner and we were out sitting and talking. And so I was telling him, we were just out talking. We were having conversations. And I remember looking up and seeing someone standing. This is a multi-layered level building. And so they were up on the very top level and looking down at us and just staring. And I remember just staring back. And once they noticed that I was staring back, they quickly, like, briskly walked away. Anyway, then the very next day at my church, like I said, of all places, we had gone to church, as for years we had gone. And this day, we were getting ready to leave early. So I'll never forget it. But we were getting ready to leave early. We stood up to go. It was close to the end of service, but the service was not over. When one of the associate pastors stood up and started and approached the mic, and she started a speech which was the verbatim, word for word, the conversation that I had with my ex-husband that at that time, or he's not my ex-husband, but my husband at the time, word for word. And after she finished, and I'm just standing in the aisle because I'm like, wait, this is exactly what I said. This is the exact conversation that we were having. And then the main pastor stood up and said, I have no control over you. And it look like he's trying to, like, make it a joke. I have no control over her. And her name was Barbara. So I have no control over Pastor Barbara. So we turned, we walked on out. So I'm not sure whatever happened after that. But that's the kind of thing that happens. So like I said, repeating what you said, anything that they've heard you say, that's been a part of my targeting. So it doesn't matter where I'm at. I've heard and using anybody. So my college professors have been used in my gang stalking, and I will be calling you people out. I will be pressing charges. Um, I'm not getting into that. We do have legal representation, so that information has already been sent to my attorneys or whatever. But I'm gonna tell you the people who have been used in my stalking have been professors, my own husband, my own mother, which I'm saying I'm the second generation. It started with her. So with my own mother, you always say mother. I don't call her my mother. She's just a birther to me. That's how I refer to her as a birther, because a mother would never allow anything like this to happen to their child and not do anything about it. And when I told her about this, I was being gang stalked. This was in 2014. And when I told her that I was being gang stalked because I had done research or whatever and was finding out this is what it was called or whatever, and her reply was, I see you've met my friends. And she said this, with a little smirk on her face. I see you've met my friends. In which I already knew that it was that she was connected to this. There was a connection. The connection to me, for them getting to me, was through her. Because I mean, I don't know. I don't have any government contacts. I don't know. I don't have any launch codes or anything. There's absolutely no reason that the government would be interested in me. There's absolutely no reason that FBI CIA would be interested in me. So again, so it's through her that the reason that I'm being I'm been in gang stalk for years. Okay, so moving on. But I wanted to say, I just want to name positions. There, like there's no one who, and not everyone who is approached will say yes, because some people do, would still will say no or not comply. And these people, when you don't comply, you get harassed. They will be harassed. They and possibly become targets themselves. So, but I can always tell the difference when someone who like the professors that I had, I mean, they were like gung ho, like yeah, like whatever story they told them, whatever lies that they told them, the proper whatever. Again, whatever the story that they used to manipulate them to get them to be a part of my gang stalking. I'm telling you, it works. Like they believe it, and they go in hardcore. And I'm telling you, like, I'm just repeating things that you say, that I say, which should be the privacy of my home, which I don't have any privacy. We'll get to that part, but I don't have any privacy. I'm monitored 24/7, so they can hear, whatever I see, audible. Whatever I see, they see me. They also, and I know they have a platform, viewing platforms where they can see me, and they've given access to other people. So, and they use my phone for that. So anyone that I've called, there's a virus on my phone. I don't have the phone anymore, but this has been going on since 2012. So since 2012, they've been tracking my phone. They've put a virus on my phone. It doesn't matter what phone number I have, because all they need is a phone number, because they said that's how it works. And they'll send messages. It's like they send messages to me from my from the people that are being used, and people are being used. In the gang stalking are called perps. They're perpetrators. They're perps. Okay, so they send the messages through my perps, or through their perps. So once they have my phone number, they have access to my phone. They have access to all of the information. I mean, like there's nothing. They have complete access to the phone. So whatever information is in there, they have access to it. So call logs, whoever you're calling, who's ever called you. And I'll give this example. So I was talking to someone. This was around 2012. So when it started, and I was talking to this person on the phone, and we hung up. I was out. I was driving, and I'm not a person that talks while I'm on the phone, while I'm talking on the phone while I'm driving. So if I need to talk, it's quick answer, and I will call you back when when I'm home or wherever I get to where I'm not driving or whatever. But anyways, so we hung up, and then about 5 minutes later, this person called me back and said, "Hey, what's going on? Why did you just call me or something?" I was like, I didn't call you back. I told you I was driving. Like, I will call you when I get to where I'm going. And he was like, "Well, somebody called you." Or someone just called me back, and you're with a number that looks similar to yours, and that's why I was calling. And so I was like, no, it wasn't me. Um, but later, that person, and he would be the first person to be contacted that way through having access through my phone or whatever, from having a conversation with them by a cell phone. Let's see. Let's move on to the next book, because I'm telling you, this is like textbook 101. The information they have in here. I can give you multiple examples for everything in here. So this one, the workplace mobbing. Yes, it's a thing. Workplace mobbing is a thing. Okay, so workplace mobbing is a more specific term often used when this kind of behavior happens in professional settings, and they do. They do. They will use you, your employees. I'm telling you, I caught it from 2014 to 2020, up to COVID. And I'm a teacher, or was a teacher. I haven't taught in 2 years because I went back to school. I last taught in 2022, and then went back to college. Started back up taking classes in college in 2023, and I just graduated this past December in 2025. So yeah, but at every school since then, that was the school previous to that one, and actually in the early 2000s, they were using one person at least from this school. This lady, she ended up having to move her to quit, because they harass these people. And again, I was working at that church I was telling you about. So I was working at the preschool at that church, and there's another preschool teacher who was being used to harass me, and she was also a relative of that pastor that I was telling you about, who got up in front of church and basically repeated the conversation that I was having the night before. And so they were relatives. So that lady, they harassed her, and were harassing her or whatever, so much that she ended up quitting. And people have quit because they get tired of once they get you and you start doing, you comply with them, they have no end. These people have no end. Like, they get you in, they get you to start doing the harassment or whatever. And some people do have a conscience, and they just rather just quit the job than to continue on with the harassment, because they realize that they're not going to stop harassing them to harass me, or and that would be their target, whoever. Okay, so more, let's see, where were we at? Okay. It's a situation where a person is targeted by colleagues. Yes, this is true. And higher ups. Yes, this is true. Who engage in behavior to undermine their credibility, spread lies, and ostracize them. This is true. The term Gangstalking sometimes can be spelled as Gangstalking, refers to a coordinated effort by a group of people to harass, intimidate, and psychologically destabilize an individual, often called the targeted individual. This behavior can take many forms, including spreading rumors. Yes, okay, that's been my experience. Surveillancing. Yes, I have zero privacy. I have zero privacy. Like, let me get through the rest of this. And social isolation. Yes, from your family, from friends, from whatever you are. You may, like I said, if you're working, they're going to social isolate you from other individuals, your coworkers, with the lies, spreading rumor, the lies or whatever. They make it believable. It's essentially a collective, deliberate effort to undermine the person's life through various means, both in public and private spaces. And here's more details to break down what gang stalking typically involves. But I'm gonna make more videos to go into um, my specific um, experience with these things. But I'm telling you, this is real. Like right now at this moment, um, you all will be, so you all will be able to, view this video. But right now, I'm being surveillanced, okay, by the government. Um, and we want to say because it's not everybody. It's not the average FBI agent or CIA agent. Okay, these are higher ups. These are people who have um, misused their position. Okay, um, and their power. Okay, so it's not. I don't. And I want to say. So it's called. So we're sticking with the deep state. Have you heard of the deep state? Right. This is the criminal part of the government. The part of the government that has been criminalized. Um, and they use their power, their positions to commit crimes and be covered by their position. Okay, so we have the surveillancing. So the targeted individual is constantly watched or followed by the group. This is so true. Whether it's through physical presence, surveillance equipment, yes, or other methods.